What's going on, you guys? It's John again. Welcome back. You could have clicked any video on the internet, but you decided to click this one. So in this one, we're going to talk about how you never know what's really going on inside of someone else's head. Okay. So it's pretty obvious, guys, that, we as people, we live inside of our consciousness. We live behind our eyes. That's how we experience the world. And when you interact with other people, all we get is the external of them. All we get is what they present. All we get is their physical. And so essentially what that means is that the only kind of understanding that you can really get from someone are the things that they present outwardly to you, okay? Whether it be words, behaviors, actions, things like that, okay? So with that said, you never know what kind of thoughts someone is having. In other words, you can't read people's minds, okay? Some of us are pretty decent at picking up on behaviors, picking up on patterns of behavior, picking up on mannerisms, picking up on how people act and things like that. And that can give you a pretty decent idea of what may be going on inside of someone's head, but for the most part, you never really know, okay? Because people can act outwardly opposite to how they actually think inside. People can pretend and do things on the outside that would make you believe a certain thing about them, which may not necessarily be the truth about who they are inside of their head. You know what I mean? So a lot of people out here are very good at hiding themselves, if that makes sense. They're very good at making other people believe things about them that aren't necessarily true, while simultaneously having a belief or having thoughts in their mind that are different to how they are presenting themselves externally. So you really got to be careful with interacting with people. There are a lot of liars, there are a lot of snakes, there are a lot of manipulators out there, and especially today in this modern society, that's definitely the case. So you never really know what is happening inside of someone else's skull. You just never know, okay? Someone could be presenting themselves as the nicest, sweetest person you've ever seen. I'm such a good person. I'm so caring. I treat other people so well. I do all this stuff. While at the same time, in reality, in their actual mind, they may be some evil demon piece of shit. You know what I mean? Who has bad intentions. And there are a lot of people out there that are like that, and you really have to protect yourself when it comes to dealing with people, because again, you never know what someone's true intentions are. Again, people use words as tools. It's very easy to lie. It's very easy to manipulate other people by presenting outwardly things that you want them to perceive you as, and things like this. A lot of narcissists are this way. They want people to perceive them in a positive light, while at the same time they have negative intentions and sometimes evil intentions. And so, we just have to understand that we live inside of our own minds. We're kind of trapped inside of our own skulls, if that makes sense. We're all trapped behind our eyes. So you never have direct access to someone else's mind, okay? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't want to live in a world where we can just read everyone's thoughts and like everyone has like telepathy and shit like that. I don't think that would be a good world, but I'm making this video to just point out a truth that you never really know what's actually legitimately going on inside of the mind of someone else. And that's it's a little scary that that's the case, because there are a lot of bad people out there who again want to hide their true selves from other people and things like that. So you just got to be discerning. You got to be someone who has decent enough discerning to where you can see who someone actually is, or close enough to who they really are. That way you're not getting entangled into some kind of manipulation strategy from someone else, or you're not getting entangled into some kind of situation with some person who has bad intentions that you don't want to be entangled with, because that happens far too often. Because I think a lot of people are kind of naive to to people, in the sense that they believe everything that someone else is saying and doing and putting out externally. They like just believe whatever someone says, or they believe what's on the surface and things like that. And so, you know, that can cause you to be very naive, and that can cause you to not see the truth of who another person really is and things like that. It's a hard thing to discern, because again, you've got like master snakes out here, master manipulators, master demons, master fake people who are super, super talented at putting up an image, putting up a front that they want people to think that they are. And so it's really easy to not see who someone really is. So I get that. And don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not saying that you have to be one of these types of people that's like super paranoid all the time, and you're just on edge around everybody, and you're so like, you know, paranoid constantly with every single person you come in contact with. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that you need to be aware that a lot of people present outwardly a fake mask that's not really what's happening inside of their head. But with that said, you still never know what someone's true intentions are. You never really know. And you know, if you pick up on people's behavioral patterns, like I said, you can kind of have a decent clue of who someone might be. You can have a pretty decent idea of what might be going on inside of someone's head based on, you know, their behavior over time and things like this. But even then, you never really truly are inside of the mind of another person. And again, not that you should be, not that that's something that we should be striving to do. So there was one more thing that came to my mind, guys, that I thought I would mention. So my apologies for the environment change. I'm in my house now, obviously. So I am not saying that it's a good thing to be like the thought police or something, or you should be, you know, you should be super concerned with reading someone's thoughts or being inside their mind or something like that. I'm not advocating for thought policing by any means, okay? I hate that shit. All I'm saying, the only thing that I'm trying to say here in this video is that you are never aware of the true thoughts and feelings that someone actually has. You're just never aware. And so because of that, you really got to be careful with dealing with people. That's all I'm saying. I'm basically just trying to say that what's on the surface, what's on the external, is a lot of times not really the truth behind a person. I would almost go as far as to say is that's almost never the truth. There are some people out there who I would call good people, who what they present on the outside is the same thing that is going on inside of their head, and I like to think that I'm one of those people. But it's not the majority of people. It's not the majority of people by far. Most people are putting up a front. Most people are managing their image. Most people are managing how other people perceive them and things like this. So yeah, guys, that's kind of the video. That's the point I'm trying to get across, is you never really truly can know what's going on inside of the head or the mind of another human. You just can't. You never know. So you really got to be careful, guys, when dealing with people. So that's the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like and a comment and subscribe for more if you guys like the content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.